Welcome to another episode of the Becky Choice podcast shows. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. Now let's talk about my thought process when I do my diastasis recti and posture assessment with you as my client. So once you join the Diastasis, the Tummy Warrior coaching program, I will have to first do an assessment with you to see what your DR situation is like, how's your posture is like. So I wanted to walk you through exactly what I do and how I program your workout as a client once you join. And this is exactly the thought process, how I'm going to prescribe the workouts, how I'm going to lay out the program for you in a step-by-step way. So I wanted to show you the difference between you sign up for a general program, postnatal program, or even a diastasis program out there, a general cookie cutter program out there. And yeah, they might have some questionnaire to ask you a few questions here and there, probably less than 5 questions, and then you're set to go, right? You follow the workout that they have in the program for you, or maybe they only have 1 type of or 2 types of program, and that's it, you follow it. And this is exactly why 95% of those people fail, because the program is not specifically on what they need. Perhaps they don't have diastasis recti, they just wanted a postnatal program to help them to get back in shape. Perhaps their diastasis recti is very mild. They don't really need a specific program in the first place. But I only work with moms who have moderate to severe diastasis. So if you have mild DR and you come to me just wanted to have a flat tummy or toned tummy, I actually don't take you. In this episode, I wanted to walk you through what I am doing to ensure my program has a really high success rate at 70% or more, right? I'm not saying they aren't getting the results, just maybe the time commitment isn't there or something's coming up. There's always something, right? There's always something coming up. But instead of a 5% success rate on like other programs, you are going to guarantee yourself a really, really good structure, a program, and accountability. But most importantly, is the assessment that's going to be a focused path for you, a focused path so you can save time, you can save the energy for not doing the exercise right, and you focus on the wrong things, right? I hear a lot when my clients go to see the physiotherapist. They go there, they wanted to check on their DR, but they end up getting checked on their pelvic floor muscles instead. It's fine. It's fine. You do need to know what your pelvic floor muscle strength is, but at the same time, they just kind of dance around the core, right? The physio dance around the core. They don't know too much about it. They have personally never experienced it themselves before. So it was just a very generic, here you go on a piece of paper, you go home and do a kind of exercise program. It's nothing that is going to be target for you in a day-to-day specific manner. So let's talk about what I do. Now, when you first join my fitness app, the Tummy Warrior fitness app, so there are lots of questions I wanted to go through with you. And this is just a simple consultation questionnaire, and it's actually very similar to when we get on a phone call. These are very similar questions that I ask you already, because I just want you to type it in quickly, reaffirm that this is the right answer. So I have it in the system, I have it on paperwork as well. So like, do you exercise regularly? How do you rate your performance on cardio exercises? How many months postpartum are you? How many children do you have, right? How many multiple pregnancy or twins or triplets pregnancy? Are you currently breastfeeding, right? Breastfeeding also affect the way you lose weight, and what kind of meal plans you should be on to keep up with your milk supply. And then I'll ask you do you know if you have a hernia, an umbilical hernia? Do you know if you have a uterine prolapse, which are very common postnatal conditions? I'll also ask you if you had a C-section birth or vaginal birth or both. So when you had a C-section birth, you will have a C-section scar, right? And we need to do something about that scar versus if you only have vaginal birth, you don't have the C-section scar but you also have other areas that we might need to focus on. So that was important for me to know. And then now, if you had a vaginal birth, how long was your pushing phase, right? Did you have a long pushing phase? Did you have a really difficult delivery, such as a sections? Did you bleed a lot during the pregnancy? So those are the factors that help me understand what your pelvic floor muscle, your ladies part is like, right? And if you are a newly mom, right, these informations are detrimental to the program that I'm going to program to you. Right, first is if you're 2-3 years postnatal already, right, even though yes, you had a really difficult birth, but it is that much time already passed. So that affect me how I program the way you do certain things, certain workouts. And then are you aware if you have a tight and weak pelvic floor or a loose and weak pelvic floor? So these are two different things. And the tight and weak pelvic floor, it could have symptoms like difficulty in starting the flow of your urine. You have some pelvic pain. You have pain during sex. You have pain inserting a tampon. So relating more to pain, but there's also going to be some leaking when you have a tight and weak pelvic floor. A lot of people think that the leaking only happens when you have a loose and weak pelvic floor, but it's not always the case. Loose and weak pelvic floor definitely can have leaking, but also tight and weak. But for loose and weak pelvic floor, other symptom could be because you had a long pushing phase, and maybe you often need to use the bathroom and you're leaking while you're exercising, you're leaking at the end of the day after a long walk. So those will give me the symptom to whether you have a weak or tight, or like weak or loose, or maybe you're normal, right? You don't feel any of that. And do you experience any leaking? What kind of situations, right? Like I was saying, is it at the end of the day or all the time or only when you're exercising? And then I also wanted to know like maybe what are some of the things that you've tried before? So that will help me understand where you are at too. And what your goal is, right? So the goal is something important for me to help me to give you that expectations while I'm coaching you through the program. At the same time, I want you to keep your eye on the prize, right? Your vision is there. I know you wanted to get there. So I'm going to help you realign that, your vision, your actions to your visions. And then, are you a vegan, vegetarian, or omnivore? So this help me to help you with your meal plans. A lot of the moms in my programs are religious, so Muslim or Indian. So some of them are, and because I take clients all over the world, very thankful for technology these days. So lots of them are vegetarians. So that's important for me to know. And then how would you rate your current back pain? So this is, how do you rate yourself on the back pain? We will help you with the back pain. If you say it's 5 out of 5, right? If you say 4 out of 5, you are experiencing a lot of back pain. So we have to help you with that. It's not just the DR, because when you have DR, you have a weak core muscles and your belly is always constantly hanging forward. And guess what happened to your back? Your back is constantly holding you upright, holding you up when you're sitting. So it's also always doing overtime work for you. So we need to figure out what your back pain level is, and your neck and shoulder pain as well. So that's another thing. And then your stress level, right? Are you always really, really stressed? So that's also going to help me on how you're breathing. So pain will relate on how you're breathing, your posture. And then do you have any existing injuries or conditions that I need to be aware of when building your training phase? And then the nature of your job, right? Do you sit around or do you walk around? Do you have flexible hours or you have long hours? Do you work from home? Do you work outside? So this will help me understand, right, your work style. What time can you do your workouts? How many days of the workout do you want, right? 6 days or 5 days? And then lastly, I will ask you questions like, give me some of your achievement you've done in the past, not necessarily related to fitness, but any award, challenges you have overcame, a degree you've received, something you're really, really proud of. So it helps me to understand the way you are, and we coach you through that. Now, this is just a questionnaire. It's nothing, it's just half of the formula. The other half, which is very powerful, is for me to look at you in pictures and also videos. So you are going to send me your picture, front view, side view, back view. But most importantly, I want you to do your core assessment. After doing a diastasis recti measurement, you will measure upper belly button and lower engage and relaxed measurement. I have a video for you to do it properly and correctly, so that I know where your starting point is, and then your pictures. But most importantly, it's the core assessment. So I will have you do various positions of breathing exercises, core engagement exercises, some squats to determine where you are with your breathing and engagements. I also wanted to see your ribs, where your ribs are sitting right now. So you'll be having some fun with coloring your ribs with some non-toxic water marker, so I can see where your ribs are. And the reason for that is I wanted to see where your ribs are locating on your body. And when you say you have upper diastasis recti, it's most likely because your ribs are wide and flare, stretching out the muscles in the middle, right? So that will help me to understand, okay, you do have wide and flare ribs, and it confirms with you have an upper DR. So that will help me to understand, okay, we will have to work on your upper DR, and also if you have a shorter torso. So usually, if you are shorter, like shorter than normal height, then you normally have a shorter torso, and I see that quite often. And so at that so when you are shorter, you carry your babies higher up, because there's not much room in your torso to carry your baby, right? So your ribs have to flare out and widen to accommodate a growing baby when you were pregnant. So it's very common to see that you have upper DR. And then I also like to see your weight, your waist size, and then your height. But these are actually, when you join my app, these are the details you'll be filling out already. So yeah, so those are a lot of things that I need to see, I need to ask, you need to answer, you need to do in order for me to prescribe the 90 days or the 8 weeks program to you. So it's a lot of things. It's not just like, hey, you know what, you do this, you answer a few questions and you do this and you'll be fine. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. There's so much more to go into programming a workout that is going to be efficient, that is going to be tailored to you. Because I'm sure you're so busy already, right? You're so busy with everything else. You don't want to try to figure it out yourself. Sometimes I see some moms that joined a program and they are just so overwhelmed. They go inside and they come out even more puzzled than before, because the trainer gave them so much information that just like kind of pushed them away, right? Instead of actually teaching them. Well, of course they want to teach them, but like it's just so much information up front. They don't know where to start. They don't know all these terminology. They don't understand what the heck is anterior or pelvic floor, posterior pelvic tilt. They don't understand what the heck is the ribs flare mean. They don't understand how a posture is supposed to look like. So that's exactly what I did too. Like when I look at your photo, your before photo, I will look at your posture. Do you have a forehead posture? Do you have a high arch back, right? You're curving like an S shapes on your back, pushing your belly out, right? And then like pelvic floor muscles, like what do those mean? Like what exactly does that mean? Like you don't know what you don't know, and it's just very confusing if you try to learn everything by yourself. Like you need a certification for it if you know that much, right? And that's what a lot of the moms in my program, and they try to do something before, and like they just fall off very easily because it's very overwhelming, and they don't see the progress quick enough, and they lose momentum. So yeah, I just wanted to keep this episode shorter so that I am to the point and not talking too much. Sometimes I talk too much, and yeah. But I wanted to say is that I've been talking about this in my emails and stories lately too, because I see somebody who, like a big influencer, who just posted this before and after picture of somebody who didn't even do her program, and it was an after picture of after having a surgery, and she claimed that it was hers, and it really sucks. It breaks my heart that, I'm sure a lot of people fall for that, right? They want to look great, they want to have the flat tummy, but it's not even from that influencer's program. But people don't know that, right? People doesn't know that, and they see what they have on their picture. Oh, must be good. Wow, it's a flat tummy. But they don't know that it was after a surgery, after it's stolen picture after somebody having a surgery. But those program, $50, $150 program, they give you standard sets of exercises. Here you go, you do this and this, and And if you don't understand, okay, here is 3 hours of a group call you can watch recording. Who has time for that, right? I actually used to have group coaching calls. I deleted it. But I would say that I know that a lot of moms don't have that time for it. So I would rather focus on having a one-on-one conversations with them, because so they can book a one-on-one call with us, with me or my coach, or like just have a FAQs to answer their questions so that they know exactly what they need in that few minutes of answers, instead of like going through an entire recording or coaching call. Or it's such a waste of time. All right, that's all I have for today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to say hi to me on Instagram at BeckyChoi_. You can get a lot of information on my feed, on my post. But if you are interested, if you're committed, right, if you trust that this is going to take you to where you want to be, you have to take a leap of faith, and you have to believe that you're worth it. You have to believe that things will connect the dots for you. So awesome. So yeah, I'll talk to you in the next episodes. And it's December coming up. We are heading to the end of the year. I wish you a wonderful time, holidays, spending time with your families and friends, and have a great one. Bye-bye.